Yo, what's going on everyone? Mashman here, about to head to the airport for the Atlantic-Oase Professional Conference. I'm flying out to Denver, Colorado, where I'm about to speak in front of about 100 to 120 water feature professionals. Really excited about this. I want to go ahead and take you guys for a little bit of my journey as we're going and exploring Denver at the conference, as I'm meeting people. So let's get to it. So this is going to be the first of many events over the next 12 months. I'm using this to really catapult my speaking career. Up until this point, I really haven't done much public speaking. So I'll use this, I'll take the video, I'll land on some speaker bureaus, use that to boost up my own credibility, show that I'm serious, show that I'm a professional. And then from there, I look to be on at least, one stage per month in 2025. That would be a really good foundation for me. So I'll be filming other aspects of the event, probably some behind the scenes. There's a mixer tonight, a lot of really cool stuff, so time to catch a flight. All right, just landed in Denver, Colorado. The weather here is already so much nicer. It's cooler. I was burning up on that plane, but really short flight, really easy. I need to get used to flying again, so that's a little bit of an adjustment, but I'm about to head to the hotel. Got to take the monorail or train or whatever it's called, go to Union Station, check in at the hotel, and then we have a mixer tonight at 6 o'clock, which super excited about. Looking forward to meeting everybody, and then I've been going over the presentation in my head. I'm going to knock it out of the park and help a lot of really amazing contractors on how they can leverage their personal brand to gain business. This is not really out of my comfort zone, but the specialization definitely is, because these are people who do ponds and water fountains and koi ponds. Really cool, I like it, but how can they really leverage and harness the power of their personal brand to get results? And most of them are really private people, so I'm going to be leaning into sacrificing a little bit of that privacy, positioning themselves as the #1 person in the pond space, right? Every person in that room is competing with the other person. So have a really kick-ass presentation. So let's get going. So we are currently walking to the hotel, got to check in, pretty much immediately go and go to the dinner, go to the mixer, start networking. Going to be non-stop for the next 48 hours, but hey, that's what I signed up for, right? So no regrets. I'm going to be really good. I'm going to get hyped up on some more coffee. Denver is a strange city. Like, the vibe is so European, yet all I smell is weed. So I am currently at the hotel at the conference for Atlantic-Oase, striking up some really awesome conversations with some people in the space. Not really out of my zone, but this is an industry that I had no clue that I would ever work with. And so it's really exciting and a little bit challenging, but in the best way possible, because it helps me grow as a personal brand consultant and as an industry leader. So really excited for tomorrow. I'm going to have the entire training recorded. You'll have access to that. I will publish it up on my YouTube channel. It's not going to be in this vlog. I might have a couple clips here and there, but regardless, beautiful view, beautiful people behind me. So let's just go ahead and continue the video.
After an evening like this, where we have fun together over in Europe, and then you guys can go home or scatter or do whatever you want. But that's my hope, that we can get that put together. So yeah, do save up for that.
All right, day 2 of the Atlantic-Oase Conference. Last night the mixture went good, had some Murray Martin. It was a wonderful night, great connections, a lot of information about the pond world, which I really enjoyed and really liked. So day 2, going to deliver the training, continue networking with some awesome people.
The highest point on planet Earth soars more than 29,000 feet into the deep blue sky. Most of us have called it Mount Everest for the last 170 years. But before that, the indigenous people of Tibet and Nepal called it Chumulungma, the goddess mother of the world.
Sometimes you still can win if you are making all these mistakes, okay? And that's what gives you the belief that you're actually good, even though you're not, right? Because sometimes you can muscle your way through.
We're a few sessions down, just got out of a wonderful session by Mr. Eric Triplett. He's the reason I'm at this event. I was on his podcast, The Pond Digger, earlier this year, and then the founder of Atlantic-Oase reached out and wanted me to show up. So really excited to deliver my session after lunch, going to get some grub, and then we'll be cooking, good to go. Say, hey, this is Eric Triplett with The Pond Digger. I'm looking to speak with Greg. So it's all about positioning, right? But these are those educational components that you as industry leaders who have been in the space in some cases for 20, 30, 40 years, there's a whole crew of young guys, young women, young professionals that could benefit from your knowledge. So now you're positioned as an expert, and you, depending on what you're trying to accomplish, can write your own book, can do public speaking, or very simply drive more awareness to your company because they would much rather support somebody that they've learned from than support a stranger. And so every time you create a social media post and sacrifice some of your privacy, sacrifice some of your time, you're effectively selling from stage, just like I'm doing right here. But you're doing it on social media, and instead of in front of 50 people, you're in front of 5 million. So it's all about perspective there. The next reason, inspiration and motivation are grouped together. You're motivating somebody to take action. You're showing them what is possible. And this was big because early on I saw people that were public speakers themselves. I saw these big mentors like Gary Vaynerchuk or Andy Frisella, and I'm looking at these people, I'm like, man, I can do that, right? And in your space, if you've built these great pond features, or you've sold and have a network of 10,000 clients that are buying, your products as the distributor network, you are in a place that other people strive to be. And so the content and the things that you are producing online is a way to show people that you're somebody worth following and that they can take and view you and call you mentor, just like you called somebody else mentor years ago. The final reason is connection, and this is where the emotional side of things come into play, because people want to feel connected with the people that they're following. They want to know that you're the father, you're the fisherman, you're the person who's not straight-edged, you're the tattooed guy, right? Whatever those little unique aspects of you are, that is appealing to somebody because it gives them a layer of rapport, something that they can relate on. So this is the most important slide, I would say, in this entire presentation. Now, I'll just read off a little bit of this real quick. To craft an omnipresent personal brand and position yourself as a public figure, you must be visible everywhere. You can achieve this through consistent content creation, media features, podcast interviews, public speaking, and strategic associations with industry leaders. You're looking for public edification. Other people saying that this is somebody that I would work with. This is somebody that I would hire. So even if you have a 5% referral fee, right, and you have other people who are sending you business and you're like, hey, here's 5% of the job, or 2%, whatever it is, that is a form of edification. Or me going on Eric's show and having a good conversation, he was able to, with confidence, edify me to his audience, and then Jeff listened to that podcast and said, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. I feel comfortable bringing him to my group, my family, my community. But that is edification, just like you get a video testimonial or a testimonial from a client, right? You do this end result, and you say, hey, Susan, can you go ahead and record a really quick testimonial for me? You take that testimonial, you post it, you publish it, you put it on the website, just like you're collecting a Google review, and that helps people make decisions without even having to necessarily talk to you first because your track record is evident. If you can have an evident track record, so even though you might create a video on social media, you might do that for 2 years and you might not get one client,
that is still lowering the objection rate that you would get when somebody, a stranger, comes to your page and they see you for the first time. Now they see that you've posted 200 jobs that you've done. They don't need to question if you can do what your killer keynote in front of these amazing people, water feature professionals, very experienced, absolutely love this. It was an amazing time, amazing event. Shout out to Atlantic-Oase and Jeff Weemhoff for bringing me out. Much love. Yeah. So now, I take that video, I throw it in a little AI editing software called Captions AI. I pay $10 a month. It'll edit it, which saves me $1,000 a month from having to hire a video editor. Post that on Instagram, put up a nice caption, post on Facebook as a reel, post it on TikTok, post it on YouTube. I'm very aggressive with my strategy. You don't necessarily have to be the same, but it's still, the more places and the more algorithms you can get to work for you, it's free money. Because all of this, you don't have to pay for it. It's organic. One final question, we'll wrap it up.
Out of all those platforms, what is the most effective?
Facebook. Undeniably, man. Undeniably. You know, and you can make the argument that every platform is only as effective as you are effective yourself, right? But in my experience, 99% of my business ironically comes from Facebook, but from a visibility standpoint, LinkedIn is great because it ranks higher in terms of SEO and Google. But then Instagram Reels also perform really good. But the people I'm connecting with on Instagram, I'm not necessarily narrowing it down to be my client base. But from a visibility standpoint, it's good. But from a, I can work with this professional, Facebook, because it's also the most personal. And on Facebook, you know, you can go and send a connection request to some of your biggest mentors. Same thing on LinkedIn. Like, I don't know if you guys know Patrick Bet-David from Valuetainment, Lewis Howes, right? Evan Carmichael. I go to LinkedIn and I send them a connection request and say, hey, Evan, I'd love to connect with you. And they hit accept. And now I'm in their network, and so I send them a message, just like when I published this paper, right? I said, hey, I wrote this article, and then I checked back on LinkedIn a couple weeks later, and I saw that they actually read the message. Either they read it or somebody from their team. But regardless, I can now show up on their phone. And so really understanding that if you're going to spend time on any platform, come to learn and understand those little nuances and study them. And if you need help, ask for help, right? Find somebody, go to YouTube, and there are so many content creators that go on a very specific basis of like what you need to know to use Instagram, what you need to know to use TikTok, and just educate yourself. And you will not learn everything overnight, but the fact is you're working towards that, to where you can become a more effective operator.
What was that app you used for it?
It's called Captions, CAPTIONS.ai. It's available, I believe, on Android as well as iOS, which is where I have it downloaded. And it's been great. And so what it'll do is I'll upload a video, just like I did that's 17 seconds long, and it'll go through and edit the video for captions with a 99% accuracy rate from what I've seen. And then you can add custom music to it. You can do focus zooms, a bunch of these other features that 5 years ago, I would have had to pay $60 for somebody to edit that one video for me. Now I pay $10. So, I mean, conversation on artificial intelligence is something for another time, but you can absolutely adopt it for your personal brand. You need a press release for your business? Have ChatGPT help you write a press release. You need an article? Have it help you format it. Find some plot holes, some ways that you can improve it. You know? Well, I don't want to go over our time and overextend the welcome, but thank you guys for showing up. Absolutely loved it. And let's go sign some books. Yeah.
Absolutely, thank you.
But I was just thinking if I had time maybe to go.
All right, this wraps up and concludes my trip to the Atlantic-Oase Professional Conference 2024 in Denver, Colorado. Man, I have to say, I was a little skeptical about the city at first, but the more I've stayed here, I kind of like it. It's like the mix between Los Angeles and Miami and a European city. I could see myself maybe living here, having some like timeshare. Anyways, it's been a phenomenal experience. I connected with so many amazing people. I have a feeling a lot of the people that invited me out, maybe Atlantic-Oase themselves, could become a client. Kyle Weemhoff, the son of the owner, has so many great things going on, and just as a whole, the company's phenomenal. So if you're ever looking to purchase a pump or get involved in the water feature space, don't buy from any other company. Don't go to PetSmart. Buy from Atlantic-Oase. I know that they have some exclusive partnerships with like Lowe's and Home Depot. But regardless, man, this was really an eye-opening experience, because I'll be doing a lot of these over the next 12 to 36 months. If you've watched my personal branding master strategy video, you know that public speaking is one of the things that I really want to lean into. So hopefully within the next couple of months, you'll see me popping up on some more speaker bureaus, doing some more traveling, and really leaning into it. It's when you have enough people telling you that you're good at something, maybe you should listen. And that's what I'll leave you with. So I'm Isaac Mashman. May your coffee be strong. That's another thing Denver has going for it. Good coffee. And I'll catch you next time.